Hi everyone, hope everybody's doing fantastic. My name is Vladimir and I'm a French RC glider pilot in the category of F3K, also known as discus launch gliders, which you can see here. This category are gliders basically that you launch by hand and then you radio control, meaning that you can control all axes on those gliders. And basically they are 1.5 meter wingspan and weight about 200 to 250 grams. I wanted to do that video for quite a long time because when you start in that discipline, most of the time people are going to ask you 3 questions. So I've been doing hand launch glider for more than 20 years now, and this discipline for 8 years or 10, I don't remember, but anyway. Those 3 questions are first, how long can you fly with those gliders? So the answer is pretty simple. You can fly as long as the battery lasts if you have the good thermal condition and you like to stay for long. So to give you an example, the Snipe 2 Strong, which is there, has a battery that enables me to fly up to more or less an hour. The second one has a smaller battery, which happens to make me glide up to 30 minutes if I want to, and this one as well, an hour. So that's the newest one, the yoda. The second question that people are going to ask you is, what's how much does it cost? So the pricing is always an issue. It's going to depend on your budget, basically. You can start with many gliders that are low budget, but whose performance on got to be lower, but it's better because if you break it, you're going to feel more comfortable, let's say it like this, and you have to learn when you start. The good idea also is maybe to buy high-end gliders second-hands. A lot of people like me do glide a lot and do that on a competition, so we change every maybe 2 or 3 years gliders, so you could buy those types. It's going to be less than 500 euros up to 600 depending on who's selling it and depending on the gliders. Then if you want to have high-end gliders, of course those ones are made by professionals. You have many different gliders on the market right now which are going to depend on the way you like to fly. I love those from Joe Wurth, designed by Joe Wurth, who's been one of the champions for many years. And they are built by Vladimir model, whose construction is just neat and perfect. So this is my personal preferences because I've tried others, and these ones are just perfect for the way I glide. You have others that are in the market who are the BAMF 2 right now, the NRG. You also have the Concept 5 CX5, who has a wing that's underneath the fuselage. The NRG has a higher camber and a smaller nose. The BAMF has a kind of similar construction than the Snipe 2. And you have also, I forgot the name, and I'll put it in the description as well, lower cost high-end glider that's around 500 euros, $500 as well, but it's very good performances. So to answer the question, the price, how much does it cost, is from 500 to 1,000 euros, all built, everything inside. Now this video that I wanted to make for a long time, which is about how high, is because a lot of people brag about how high they can launch, and some people also ask me, is there a difference between the Snipe 2 Strong and the Snipe 2 Standard? Because the Snipe 2 Strong, which is here, is 15 grams heavier than the Snipe 2 Standard. For a reason is that it's built in such a way that the wing is stiffer, so it will flex less than the Standard. So I made a comparison just to show you how high, and I'll share with you after that my thought about why launching high. Hope you enjoyed the comparison between the Strong and the Standard. Just be aware, I've made it so we can compare peers to peers. Both have the exact same height. I've used different ballasts, so they're compared, and I've thrown them on the very windy condition.
I'm using the same variometer on both glider. I'll be switching, and both glider will start from the same ground. A lot of people saying like I throw at 60, 70 or something like that, not having any variometer. I'm not sure. It's perfectly accurate. So let's have fun. Bye.
So now that you've seen the difference between the two, what I wanted to share with you is my personal feeling about how high. Yes, of course, launching high is important when you do discus launch glider, because you're gonna be able to catch thermals a bit easier if you're around 60 meters or higher. But when I fly, when I go to the field, most of the time I don't throw hard, because I do believe that the most important in that discipline is the fact that you perfectly know your glider. On the launch, you need to train on the movements. You know, being able to throw a glider is be straight, have the arm as flat as possible, and throw the glider in a setting that it will be the most flat as well, and have the right camber, so when you just, you know, release it, it will go high, and then it will have a flying phase that also goes straight into the air, meaning that the flaps and everything is creating as less friction as it can to go high. But when you're training, don't push it, don't throw hard every time. I see a lot of people like just, you know, throwing, and what happens is that you hurt yourself. It's a hobby. It's, even though you're doing competition, yeah, because on competition I'll try to get that extra movement, that extra push in my shoulders, so I make sure that it goes as high as it can for some phases of the competition, meaning that, you know, when you have to do a full 10-minute flight, you try to, you know, put the conditions at your advantage, but that's it. If you don't do competition, although I do recommend you go on the field and you subscribe to, you know, federation. In France we have the French Federation of Aéromobilisme. I've been doing that for 20 years and I've always been part of a club, because this is where you can discuss with people and learn the most, so I do recommend you that. But in clubs you can, you know, learn from people. In competition you can learn from the best, and this is where you can progress the most. So better know your glider, better know how to throw it well, and it will go to 50 meter easily. You don't have to push yourself, even 60 meters if, you know, you're on a good day. Then you can push, then you can go higher. But all the gliders that are present on the market right now can, you know, bring you to some condition where you can get the thermal. And so at the questions how high, I'd rather answer like, you know, how long have you been gliding, how long have you been training? And for that, this is one of the best advice I could give is go and see the videos of Naton. That's a guy who's doing that, you know, as a professional, and it only costs from 15 to 20 euros, I think, the video. And this is where I learned the most. So the link is in the description as well if you want to. But aside from how high can you throw, I'd rather answer like how far can you go, how high can you catch a thermal, and those are the best pilots on the market, I think. In my opinion, is not the guys who throw like maybe 5 or 10 meters more than others, but that are the people that can go, you know, far away and know where the glider is. So to conclude, I just shared that a graph that someone sent to me. Basically, you can see that on the graph he sent up to 40 meters, so it was not, he didn't throw that high, but he was able to catch a thermal that brought him like for 20 minutes and went pretty high. Okay, have a good day and hope to see you maybe in the field or in competition, and I hope you enjoyed that video. Have a good day. Bye everyone.